Ever get the feeling that life may have been a little dramatically different if a tiny little thing had gone its other way? Perhaps you find yourself at one of those really weird moments where everything is almost ominously familiar, or instinct sends you a path that you can't describe. What if it really is more than coincidence? What if, in another world, there is a different you and a life that they are trying to get hold of? The reality of parallel versions. Let's be realistic about this for a moment. We are not doing sci-fi fantasies or playing some quantum mumbo-jumbo without an ulterior motive. No, we are exploring you and your relation to your own potential. What if these faint whispers, the strange dreams, the all-too-familiar feeling, the uncanny coincidences they are, after all, messages from another variant of yourself, one which already took that turn you did and probably took off from where yours stopped, and comes rolling into our world to pull your rescue lever across realities. Déjà vu, a glimpse of another world. Think of déjà vu, that feeling familiar to many another strange sense that you have seen this moment before, that you have seen this movie played out before your very eyes. It is disorienting yet oddly familiar, feeling reassuring intertwined through its strangeness. We tend to dismiss it as some quirk of the brain, but what if there's something more? Maybe it is not just an illusion designed by our minds. Perhaps for just a moment, reality lines blur, and you catch a glimpse of a life lived in another reality. That instant feeling of going with your essence but not belonging to this world at all. What does it mean to you right now? Maybe a reminder of something you chose in another reality. Perhaps it's a challenge to rethink or an opportunity that still awaits you. Synchronicities, messages from an alternate timeline. And what about coincidences? Not coincidences, but when everything comes together so beautifully that's too beautiful to ignore. You know what I mean. You're thinking of changing your life, perhaps leaving your job or moving to a new town, and then, as if by some sort of plan, that same word keeps echoing, or that same image keeps showing up everywhere. It seeps into the bus ad, comes up in discussion of the stranger sitting beside you, and even springs out from the page of a random book you decide to read. It's like the universe or some alternative version of you is whispering, "Hey, listen, this is important." These are like breadcrumbs, they lead you to something important. They are not random coincidences, they could be coming from that part of you that has accepted the change you are contemplating, beckoning you and urging you on to take the step. Imagine that you have such guidance, a soft whisper from that alternate timeline where you would have already conquered the obstacles you now face. Alternative realities accessed through dreams. It seems that dreams play a very crucial role in this story. Isn't that so? Have not we all woken up to the feeling that our dreams were all so real, with the emotion-tinged love, fear, joy, and profound loss still clinging onto us? Sometimes you almost feel that you lead an entirely different life in that embrace of sleep. Is there more to those dreams than reflections of our daily life? What if, in the stillness of sleep, those quiet hours, another life gave you a glimpse of self, a life written from other choices? Could you dream about your city that you never lived in and yet it's like home to you, or see success in careers which you never even dabbled in? These could actually be visions from your parallel self telling you to look at what you've committed to and what awaits your decision. The feeling out of place, of fleeting confluence. Then there's that feeling of not belonging. One feels at home, yet knows something isn't right. It can be even a place you've seen a million times before, but feel foreign. Or someone meets you for the first time, but somehow feels as if you always knew each other. These moments, disturbing as they might be, could mean you are briefly tuning into another version of reality, one in which you have already met this person, or one in which you have already lived through that moment. Your consciousness slips through the cracks and overlaps with another timeline, reminding you that your life is greater than one story. The power of intuition, messages from your other self. How can we dismiss instinct, that sense? Instinctive only inasmuch that the rational brain of you cannot actually make you make the decision. What if that clarity is, in fact, messages from another parallel dimension of yourself, guiding you because they possess the sight of the future if you do indeed make that sure choice? It almost feels like a guy who has covered the entire length of this journey reaches over and gives you a gentle tap on the shoulder and whispers, "Trust me on this one." We so often dismiss our intuition as illogical, but what if what we are forfeiting in that is the wisdom from an alternative path we may have taken? How to tune in practical tools for connecting. Connecting with those versions of ourselves is far more than openness to mystical ideas. It's the expansion of our perception of what is possible in our own being. But how do we do that? How can we learn to listen to the whispers from our parallel selves and interpret them? Mindfulness and meditation. Perhaps this is one of the simplest ways to do so. Mindfulness and meditation. Meditation does not mean necessarily clearing out your head. It is simply focusing in and listening for what's beneath the noise. By sitting in silence, you open yourself to subtle messages that might otherwise be overlooked. Before meditation, set your intention. It might be to connect with a version of you who is already witnessing peace within the tumultuous situation, or maybe gain vision into your reasons as to what brings you interest in the particular option, that perhaps you cannot relate yet to it. To fine-tune on the hushed voices, the silent whispers of the parallel souls. journaling identifying the symptom. The second tool is journaling. Sounds simple, but it's actually so powerful. Each time you have an experience of déjà vu, a very vivid dream, or some sort of intuitive flash, write it down. Do not let it slip away as just another weird thought. Reflect on it. Explore it. What were you feeling? What was happening in your life at that time? With time, you start noticing patterns of phenomenon wherein your dreams become more vivid at the times of pressure, or where you notice more synchronicities before the making of a major decision. Such patterns are messages, and the more alert you become, the more lucid they will become. Lucid dreaming is contemplating alternate realities. There's lucid dreaming. Imagine waking up in a dream and knowing that okay, fine, this is a dream, and then you proceed from there. Perhaps you're in such a fantastic state that you hope to run into an alternative you, a self who may harbor the answer to one of your questions. The potential in lucid dreaming enables you to explore other worlds in that kind of depth. This is heavy lifting getting easier but still practicing patience. And my word, the payoffs. Trust your instinct. Déjà. Let's dive into the land of intuition. It is really easy to disregard that soft, quiet voice when what it sets you on feels crazy. But the more attuned you are to that, and begin to trust in its ramblings, the stronger it becomes. In other words, you start building muscle. Let's start out with the small ones. Trust your gut on which way you want to go home tonight, or to think about talking to that old friend. The more you trust it, the better you can hear it for bigger things such as changes in career, relationships, and life-changing decisions. It could be that that little inner voice may be the parallel self who guides and assists you with decisions made for your truest, deepest, and strongest life desires, crafting a life that resonates with your authentic self. Imagine that world in which everybody does pay attention to those signs, and really starts listening to all the different versions of us that listen to the whispers and live through the moments when the hard choices have to be made. Change may be closer. How close could we get to becoming who we are truly, for whose purpose we came here to fulfill? Accepting and paying attention to these signals is moving from mere interest to the intention of actually building a life where one's soul is built into it. Conclusion, hear the whisper of unlimited possibility. The next time you feel that strange déjà vu feeling, or you notice something odd that seems to repeat itself, or you wake up from a dream that feels like it is something more than just fantasy, stop for a moment. Don't just dismiss it. Think about it. Write it down. Consider what it might be trying to tell you. Perhaps after all, it is you from another world, searching to help you, seeking to steer you to where you belong. This isn't magic or superstition, this is about a deeper connection. This is a truth that we are something more than one version walking out in a straight line lifestyle. We are part of the infinite and something much deeper than any aspect of ourselves. But when we open ourselves up to even that idea, when we actually start listening to those whispers from over those realities, who do we know what we are really going to find in those depths? What do you think? Comment below. I want to know your opinion about this matter. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of these kinds of videos. Thanks for watching.